models learning as an interconnected neural map rather than an isolated fact. Rooted in lifelong observation and practice, this clearly reflects his conviction that true understanding emerges only when concepts are connected meaningfully across disciplines. It's our joy and pleasure to have Dr. A. Vijay Kumar here to address us. Sir, I request you to please address the gathering.
To the Institute, the Learners NEET Academy, and to Narayana Hridayalaya, who is sponsoring this program. I thank the organizers to giving me an opportunity to hear so many wonderful speeches. They spoke so many things, very good. I thank all of them. By nature, I do not preach even to my children. I do not teach even to my students. Of course, I teach, but I would say that I am teaching. I usually say, let us discuss this topic, because I personally feel that I am still learning. And I tell my colleagues that there are two ways of learning. One way is by sitting there, and one way is by standing here. Learning should be a lifelong process, it cannot stop. So what am I going to speak is, I am not going to preach anything. I am going to tell what I did in my life. If it is useful to you, take it, otherwise leave it. It is up to you. I joined Guntur Medical College in 1975 at the age of 15 years, maybe 16 years. Actually, it is underaged. Of course, that underage is a tradition of my family. My brothers are underaged, my children are underaged. My mother has put the wrong date, increasing 3 years wantedly to push me, and then they pushed me into Guntur Medical College. We were living around Guntur Medical College, and my parents made me a dream to enter this college. My father told me that you have to get a seat there. Those days, there were only 8 medical colleges in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. That was a common state. Now, maybe there are 80 colleges only in AP or only in Telangana. You can't even count them. Out of the 8, 2 were private medical colleges. My father told me there is no question of paying that donation. If you get a seat in Guntur Medical College, get it. Otherwise, forget it. I got it. Because of that, if he had given me 2 opportunities, most probably I would not get it. And you know how much was the fees in those 2 medical colleges those days? Imagine. It was 8,000 rupees. Only 8,000 rupees. But my father said, impossible, no. And I got it. And after that, so many things happened. My brother, my younger brother, also got a medical seat in Guntur Medical College. We didn't even know when he read and when he got it. Suddenly one day he came to me, to my hostel in Guntur Medical College, and said, I got a seat. When did you read? I read it, I got it. Then my third brother, we are 3 brothers, we have no sisters. Third brother, he had a very serious health problems during his 11th and 12th, and because of that there was a break in his education for 4 years. And after completing his 12th class with this break, he had only one attempt is left. There is no more attempts. He appeared for that. He didn't get it because of all his health problems. Then he joined BCom. He completed BCom. After that, he got married, 2 children. Then he did ICWA, first part I think. Nothing useful with that. So he started teaching in some schools for school children, 6th, 7th, and then gradually increasing. Then he started teaching 11th and 12th students zoology. He is a BCom student, but he started teaching zoology for 11th and 12th students. After that, one day he came to me and said, brother, this BCom is useless. So what shall I do? Shall I do PG diploma in mathematics? Mathematics teachers have better prospects. I said, okay, do it if you want. He did that, PG diploma in mathematics. But that also didn't fetch him much. At that time, private medical colleges started in Andhra Pradesh, and I joined one college. I was there as a tutor of anatomy only for 2 months. And then I called him and said, because of these private medical colleges, a new course has come up, that is MSc Anatomy, MSc Physiology. Will you do it? He said, okay, I will do it. At that time, he is 40 years of age. Then later on, I recollect, oh, I forgot, you are BCom fellow, no? But BCom fellow will not be given MSc in Anatomy or Physiology in a medical college. No, not possible. Then he said, no, brother, I have already enrolled myself in Ambedkar University. That Ambedkar University is open university. Open university 3 years back. I will finish that and come. Okay then. Within 3, 4 months or 5 months, he came with the BSc biology degree. How did you do this? Because 3 years have passed, I wrote all exams and passed. I got the degree. Okay, then he appeared for NTR Medical University entrance examination for MSc and he got state 12th rank. Then he joined MSc Physiology. I made him join MSc Physiology because by that time I joined MD Anatomy. So why both of us in the same subject? If you join Physiology, maybe we will write Anatomy and Physiology books. And so I encouraged him to join Physiology. But it was a horrible experience for him because of the professor. The professor speaks in so bad ways, always speaking in a negative way. Why you useless fellows have come to this MSc? Who started this MSc course? This MSc course itself is a useless course because we are doctors. That controversy is there because between MD and MSc. Because of MSc, you are also sitting equal with us. All these bad feelings were there with that professor. So at the age of 40, he couldn't tolerate all this friction. So he also switched over to anatomy side, completed an MSc anatomy. After that, he joined along with me in Jagdalpur Government Medical College as an assistant professor of anatomy. He worked there for 11 years. Then he did PhD and now came back and working in the same college where I worked for 2 months as anatomy tutor, and he studied MSc and now he is working as an associate professor of anatomy in the same college. This is our real experience. In what way you benefit from that is up to you. And then, as I was introduced, I thank Madam for such a wonderful introduction. I don't know whether I deserve it or not, but I wrote anatomy books. Why did I write anatomy books? Because I felt anatomy is the most boring subject. Not only boring, most unscientific subject. You may ask me, how can you say anatomy is unscientific? It is science. Yes, science dealt in an unscientific way. That is not the right way. I am not at all convinced with that way of teaching. Very difficult to remember. So I wrote myself in a different way. I will tell you, I am going to take some classes for you also. Maybe some of you have heard my class last Sunday. I took an online class from Hyderabad. No, they are not there? Okay, fine. I am going to take some classes. So I wrote my anatomy textbooks. The first book I wrote is neuroanatomy. That is the most difficult thing. I wrote neuroanatomy even before joining MD, not after completing MD, even before joining MD, because even from then I am thinking of that in a different way. That is not the way. That is not the real science. So many things are not told. The books are of this size, but I feel that so many things are not told. So I wrote the books myself. And then, as was told, I wrote mathematics books also. The first book I wrote in the forests of Bastar, where I was working as an anatomist, is amazing calculations without pen and paper. I will show you how to do calculations. For your NEET exam also, you need calculations, but don't calculate. I am going to tell you, I am going to explain it to you. Don't calculate. If you calculate, you will go wrong. You will commit mistakes, correcting mistakes, and you will lose time. Of course, how can we manage without calculation? Yes, that is also a calculation, but that is an intuitive way of calculation, not the hard way of calculation. Then I wrote another book, Indian Trigonometry. In my trigonometry, there is no sine, no cos. No need of that. I can see through the answers directly. Why all these formulas? But I started mathematics when I was a student, like you. We had general mathematics and composite mathematics, two types of mathematics. I was from the general mathematics stream because I am a biology fellow. So we never had trigonometry. We never had calculus. You don't know. Even physics, we managed without trigonometry and calculus those days. Then when I started it, at the age of 50 years, when I started studying mathematics, you can't even imagine how horrible it will be. Severe headache, the way it was told. Every problem, another new formula, 50 formulas in trigonometry. I can't by heart these formulas. Every time I put aside, a new formula comes, I put aside. But I won't leave it. After half an hour or 1 hour, after having 2 cups of Irani chai, I again take it and start it. That way, finally, being a medical doctor, I wrote a book on Indian trigonometry. You may be knowing the standard book for trigonometry is S.L. Loney's trigonometry. That trigonometry we have answered nearly 300 problems without using sine or cos. The S.L. Loney solves the problem in 30 or 40 steps. We solve it in 3 or 4 steps. At the most 5 or 6 steps. In the whole 300 problems, for 3 or 4 problems, we couldn't do it so straight. Our method was more tedious than the standard method. Maybe with some a little more practice, we may find out a better way also. So we did it like that. Then, recently, now I am working in a private medical college. One student came with his father. This fellow failed all 3 subjects, anatomy, physiology and biochemistry in his first year. He came with his father. His father was very upset. He was a computer engineer. He says that, I didn't know. He cheated me, that he failed it. Then when he came to my room, I was reading a book which is not anatomy, not physiology or biochemistry. It is a physics textbook. And I asked him, why am I reading this? Do you have an exam in physics? No, sir. Do you have any other exam? No, sir. Then why am I reading it? That is my nature. That is my passion. I can't sleep. I can't digest if I don't read. Why are you reading? There is no answer. But it is an unscientific education. The way it is taught is not at all scientific. You all know, because you have completed your 12th class, you all know Gauss law in physics. Such a big headache. What is this Gauss law? I didn't understand even today. The first thing they say is, imagine a Gaussian surface. My first question to physics sir is, why should I imagine? Tell me, why should I don't want to imagine. Why should I imagine? There is no answer. Imagine, and there is no answer. Such a difficult thing, so many formulas. But finally I found out a big secret. What is Coulomb's law? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square. Q1, Q2 by r square, let it be q by r square. After a lot of struggle, I just changed it. Because we studied it in the same way. And there arises the whole problem. So many people are wishing you that you all will get medical seats. Very good, government medical seats. Very good. The best of you will get AIMS seats. And I taught them. Most of them are from Chaitanya Narayana. Now, your Murali sir is telling, even in Karnataka, they are the people ruling the field. Chaitanya Narayana, Chaitanya, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all seats, ours. Is it true? No. There are so many malpractices there. I don't want to talk about that. Even if it is true, how many students did he take? Out of 1 lakh students, they are getting 100 seats. Okay, of course, most of my students are from Chaitanya. Even though they got a very good seat, they are very poor in understanding. A simple question like, what is the dimension of a cell? They say 8 microns. I don't know whether it is 8 microns or 9 microns. I am least bothered about that. But my question is, why is it so small? Why not this much? It would be easy to understand if it is this much of size. No answer at all. Not even one. That means your understanding is not improving, even if you get so good marks. But in life, your understanding should improve. Not just getting marks, not just answering ABCD. Your understanding should improve. That is the crux of life. To become a doctor, why should you become a doctor? For money? Of course, many people are thinking like that, even though you say no, you are thinking of in those terms. But to get money, there are many other ways. You open a bar shop, definitely you will get more money than a doctor. You open a brothel house, you will get 10 times more. But don't come to medical college with those ideas. Of course, nowadays so many are coming like that. You should have a passion. You should have a compassion for the suffering person. And so many other things are told by so many people. My children are underaged. My son, he is now doing PhD in University of Sydney on brain imaging. He is 21 years old. Now doing PhD in his second year. He didn't write NEET because he is underaged. He is not eligible. So meanwhile, I completed his graduation and also his Master of Research in UK. Then went to Sydney for PhD, and just today morning he has sent me a message which says that his paper is accepted in a very high journal, almost at the level of Nature. And in a month we are expecting 4 or 5 papers to come. Not a small thing. So, what to do in life depends on you. What you learn depends on you. Of course, because of your age and limited time, everything is not dependent on you. It depends on your teachers also. I got the best teachers in my life. In my 11th class, I had a chemistry teacher. Of course, his name is also Vijay Kumar. I am a fan of him. One day he was talking in the class about Dalton's atomic theory. I said, wrong, sir. He was surprised. Who said that? I stood up. Why is it wrong? I said, Dalton said that atoms are indivisible, but atoms are divisible. They can be divided, electrons, protons and neutrons. Then he just nodded his head. Yes, you are right. Atoms can be divided, and to that extent Dalton is wrong. But why Dalton is still called father of chemistry? I don't know. I am a kid. I am an 11th class student. Then he said, okay, fine. He said, even if a part of it is wrong, still he is considered father of chemistry because only because of his theory chemistry opened up. Before that it was alchemy, not chemistry. Of course, at a later stage we were able to break the atom and so many things have come up. And maybe I will take one class for you on atomic structure. My most fascinating topic. Why is atomic structure my most fascinating topic? It is because, not because it is perfect, but because it is not perfect. Everybody comes and says something, another fellow will come and disprove it. Again another fellow will come and disprove it. Again another fellow will come and disprove it, until finally Heisenberg have come and said, it is impossible to locate it, the location, and how can it be uncertain? How can it be uncertain? It should be certain. No, science is uncertain. What is certain? Religion is certain. Science is uncertain. So mistake is not a problem. In life also, something going wrong is not a problem. We go wrong, provided, it is not a problem provided you correct your mistake. Provided you don't defend your mistake. Provided you start telling cock and bull stories to cover up your mistake. Mistake is part of life. Mistake is part of success also. It is in life, it is in science. It is never perfect. So I got some of the best teachers. I read some of the best books, but all those I encountered are not best teachers. Many types of people are there, but I have searched myself continuously to find out the best teacher. And finally, before concluding, I will tell you what I did in June. In June, I learned two important parts of mathematics. One is imaginary numbers, and the other is about conic sections, about particularly hyperbolic functions. Hyperbolic functions I studied in the last 1 week only. Of course, this is not the first time. Several times I studied, but I didn't understand. Your NCERT book didn't tell anything. I tried other books also, they are also not of much use. Your NCERT book, of course, you are biology student, you don't know that mathematics book. Okay, I'll tell you. They told circle, then they told ellipse. I really got headache, went out, had a cup of Irani chai, and then it came to me as a revelation. What this fellow is telling till now? Circle and ellipse both are same, no? What is the formula? X square plus y square is equal to r square. Divide the whole thing by r square, x square by r square plus y square by r square is equal to 1. Circle has only one radius, whereas ellipse has two radii. So x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. The same formula told. But the book is not telling like that. Okay, in the last week, I struggled with ChatGPT. Literally teased it, literally harassed it. Explain it to me. Not in your way, not in the textbook way. I am a different fellow, connectomic theory of knowledge. Not in the different. I don't want formulas first. Tell me from real life examples. No formulas. Then when you introduce formulas, you should introduce in an order, in a connected way. Not one formula here, one formula there. And after 3 or 4 days of struggling with that, we brought out a very fundamental, fantastic point is, there are circular functions, there are hyperbolic functions. Trigonometry is all about circular functions. And there are hyperbolic functions. Circular functions can model only those repetitive things in life. Only that is established, only that is consolidated, only that is repetitive. So that is the limit of circular functions. You cannot go more than that. If you want to go more than that, that means if you want to understand what is coming up new, what is growth and development, in a word, what is biology? Biology is all about growth and development. Biology is all about new things. In embryology, one cell zygote starts and forms millions of cells. 2 plus 2 is never 4 in biology. 2 plus 2 is never 4 in biology. If 2 plus 2 is 4, how come new cells? How come new functions? So, circular functions are not enough to explain these more complex things. You need hyperbolic functions there. And so many other things. So, this is what I did in the last week. So, as 11th and 12th students, though as aspirants to enter a medical college, aspirants to enter a professional education, what will you do? This is what I am doing after retirement. If I am in Andhra Pradesh, I would have retired 15 years back, not 15 years, 8 years back, because retirement age is 58 only in AP, but because I was in AIMS, I retired at 65 years, and of course, already 1 year has passed after retirement. I am doing this in the last week. I won't tell you what to do. I won't even tell my children. I don't shout at them. What you do is up to you. What is possible, I am telling you. I have come up from a very humble background. Of course, my parents are also teachers, but small teachers. They came from a village background, my grandparents are farmers. But if I can do this much, my children are expected to do how much? And I quite often say, my daughter, she is still here, listening to me? I can do a PhD now. Can you compete with me? What will you do? Is it that difficult? Of course, it is not easy, not difficult, because the teaching, the books are not very well written. There is a problem there. But then you have to compensate it for yourself. You have to understand the connection. Yesterday, one famous person in AP has passed away. His name is Pattabhiram, who used to motivate students on memory. How do you remember? I never understood that problem of memory, being a doctor. Of course, my memory is not very good. Anatomy means memory, but my memory is not very good. I never remember my wife's birthday. I forget my own birthday also, because I don't give much importance to that. But how do we remember? Connecting things. That is what I told. Coulomb's law connected to Gauss law. Coulomb's law is disconnected in your books. An unscientific method I am telling you. Coulomb's law connected to Gauss law, that should be connected to next law, that should be connected to next law. Biot-Savart law should not be first. Ampere's law should be first. So you have to understand which is the central point, and you should build up your connections. Of course, if you have good teachers and they do it for you, you are lucky. But you can't guarantee good teachers everywhere. You have to do it as much as possible at this stage. Of course, it is not completely possible at this stage, but as much as possible, connect them. If you connect them, you remember. If you can't connect them, you can't remember. It is as simple as that. And I tell quite often one more thing. What is science? And I would like to say, science is about patterns. My whole anatomy class will be about patterns. Once in a group of doctors I said, the bones of the limb, one bone, two bones, first row 3 bones, next row 4 bones, beyond that all 5 bones. In the same way for the lower limb. There was a professor of orthopedics in the group. He said, Vijay, repeat it once again, 1, 2, 3. First row has 4 bones, he said only 3. And before I replied, he himself said, no, you are right. The pisiform bone is a sesamoid bone, it should not be counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I spent my whole life with bones, but I have never noticed this. Such a beautiful pattern in anatomy. Why is anatomy so difficult? Because they didn't identify the pattern. Another example from chemistry. Periodic table. Chemistry with periodic table and chemistry without periodic table. Chemistry without periodic table is a Herculean task. So what is periodic table? Mendeleev have identified patterns. So the whole science is about patterns. You have to identify them with the help of your teachers. Sometimes by yourself. Connect all those things what you are reading. If you are able to connect, you are able to remember, you are able to answer the questions, that is what I am talking, the neuroscience of knowledge. The neuroscience of knowledge acquisition. What is neuroscience of knowledge acquisition? I came to Mysore. They brought me in one route. Do I remember all the buildings on the way? No, not possible. But if I come 5 or 6 times and able to connect different major areas, I got down in front of that big hospital, Manipal hospital, and came to one big university. If I am able to connect them, I will remember the path. If I am not able to connect them, I can't remember it. So the whole thing about knowledge acquisition is connecting all bits of knowledge. So there are 3 important stages in my theory of knowledge. The first level of knowledge is isolated data. The second higher level of knowledge is By connecting all this, weaving a fabric of knowledge. And the third highest level is applied wisdom. You should be able to apply it. What is knowledge? Not marks. If you are able to apply it, then that is proof that you have mastered the subject. So I wish you people will enjoy your studies, master the subject, and then medical seat will be a smaller thing before you, not a bigger thing. Okay? Thank you once again for the opportunity given to me. Thank you to the learners, NEET Academy, and to the Narayana Hrudayalaya people who all have made this possible. Thank you once again. Thank you.
I think sir has given the goal setting of how to understand. I don't know about you students, but I think for all of us teachers, we have relook into our syllabus once again, and now I have to start questioning and again find the center point and view my concepts once again. I think it's a goal setting for teachers also.
Sir, it was so nice.
So it's an amazing talk, amazing
eye-opener, a
perspective.
different,
Actually, we
ఇబ్బంది
always
పెట్టలేదు కదా
request different panel to have a different perspective on the same topic.
it was
And
eye-opener.
sir didn't just
I didn't
catch
trouble
one
anybody, no?
subject,
No, not at all.
he touched all the subjects.
What you
Right?
said, 1,
And
2,
that's
3, 4.
why it's not
Really,
a
it's amazing.
small feat of writing 7 books on anatomy and 2 books on mathematics. Amazing. We are truly blessed to have your talk, sir.
Chapters like photosynthesis, cellular expression, genetics, there are patterns.
So we have,
And if
it's
we make
already 1
students to
o'clock,
understand that
and let's
pattern,
break
this whole
down for
chapter
the
will
lunch
be
right now, and we'll guide
Exactly.
you where you can have the lunch. And after 1 hour, we'll have a different session. You have to
you
assemble
speaking
here
physics
after
so
1 hour.
fluently,
Let's
chemistry
assemble
so
here
fluently,
after
it's
1 hour,
amazing.
that is 2 o'clock. We can have
And
lunch,
you
roam
can
around,
give
and then we'll
justice
meet. Right,
to
everyone?
subject,
So
especially when I teach
thank you all
photosynthesis,
the
cellular
panels to be
respiration.
the part of this event, beautiful inauguration of
Do not
this
know
ambitious
physics,
project.
chemistry, it's
And
impossible.
I'm very positive about it because we started on such a beautiful day with such a good students and wonderful team member. This will be a successful event. So hats off to everyone. And students can disperse first and panel speak. You can follow.
చాలా బాగుండింది. ఇట్ వాజ్ రియల్లీ మోటివేటింగ్ సార్.
Hope I didn't trouble anybody.
And we have been doing cross theorem and other things. In our class also we can connect them.
And basket.
I told them to get some biryani, but today is Friday.